Hey everyone, welcome back to another World of Warcraft Dragonflight Alpha video. In today's video, we're going to be taking the very first look at the new talent trees for the monk. So specifically in this video, we're going to be looking at Mistweaver, and we're also going to be taking an in-depth look at the class side of the talent tree as well. Now, as we approach this, we are going to be looking at the different talents and everything, and trying to create a build that's going to be good for open world content, questing, leveling, solo play, and all that kind of stuff. Since this is a healer, we are probably going to be straying away from some of the abilities that would be good in dungeons and raids and things like that in order to take things that will help us output more damage or maybe have more mobility or utility out in the open world. In a future video, we will definitely take a look at the talent trees from the perspective of trying to go into group content and heal. So that being said, please throw a thumbs up on the video or let me know in the comments section below what you think of this series and whether or not you'd like to see more content from me post alpha. I'm definitely using your feedback in order to help me decide whether or not I continue to make content beyond this point. Okay, so we're here. I'm super excited, guys. This is Monk, okay? And I actually wanted to check Mistweaver out first because the patch notes for the alpha for the monk in particular said that they were trying to give Mistweaver the option to cast heal and also melee heal. Now, we are still going to make the build for open world content here, but I am very, very interested in seeing if fist weaving, the melee healing style for Mistweaver, is something that looks potentially fun and viable, because if it is, then that's going to sway me very drastically into potentially wanting to main monk, but we'll see. Okay, I'm not talking about what I want to main and what I don't want to main yet. Okay, that's a future video once I'm done with all these specialization videos. But we're going to get into it and check it out, and so hopefully there's some cool stuff in here. All right, so we are spec'd Mistweaver coming into the talent tree. It looks like they're going to give us Soothing Mist as our default talent here before we have any points in. We're going to jump into our spell book here and see what we have without investing any talent points. As we go through this, I'm going to assume you have a working knowledge of Mistweaver Monk. I'm not going to go through every single spell and ability in detail. Mostly going to hit the stuff that's new or the stuff that I need a refresher on, which is probably going to be a decent amount of stuff, to be honest. I'll probably screw up a lot of names here. So we have our Blackout Kick. We've got Crackling Jade Lightning for our ranged ability here. We got Detox. We've got Expel Harm. Leg Sweep, okay, for some CC. We got Provoke. Don't think we'll need that, but it's there. We've got our Res. We've got Roll, the ever awesome Roll. We've got Soothing Mist, right, which we got from the talent. All right. Spinning Crane Kick, Tiger Palm, Touch of Death, Vivify, so our kind of default heal, Zen Flight, Zen Pilgrimage, and Mystic Touch. So our damage still weakens the target, increasing physical damage taken by 5%. Now, over in the Mistweaver tree, we have Reawaken, which is our AoE res. And we also have our Mastery Gust of Mist, Renewing Mist, Enveloping Mist, Expel Harm, and Vivify. Cause a gust of healing mist, instantly healing the primary target for 890. Okay. So Mist, Expel Harm, and Vivify. All right, we're going to take a look at the class side of the tree first. And we're going to go through and look at the active abilities we have available to us first, which are the ones in these boxes here. Then we'll check out any choice nodes we have, which are the ones here with the arrows on either side. And then we'll go through and look at the passive nodes, these circle ones here, as we actually create our build. So let's jump in and check it out. So we do have Soothing Mist, we got Rising Sun Kick, and we have Tiger's Lust. So this one is going to increase the target's movement speed by 70% for 6 seconds and remove all roots and snares. I believe this was a talent in the previous iteration of the system. We have Paralysis. Yay! We don't have to take Paralysis. Oh, that's great. Although it kind of looks like maybe we have to if we want to get into the most of this entire row here. We've got disable, detox. All right, we've got our transcendence, spearhead strike, which is our interrupt. We've got fortifying brew. Okay, so everybody can get fortifying brew. Ring of peace. Okay. Diffuse magic, dampen harm. So this is a nice little damage reduction cooldown. Expel harm, so I'm assuming, yeah, I was going to say, I'm assuming this will give us a second charge if we take it. And then we have Summon Jade Serpent Statue, so instant cast with a 10-second cooldown. Summon a Jade Serpent statue at the target location. When you channel Soothing Mist, the statue will also begin to channel Soothing Mist on your target, healing over a duration. Then we have an under construction one here, so that's interesting. And then we have Summon Black Ox statue. So I'm assuming this is going to be a statue for kind of like the Windwalker style of play. So this one is... it pulses threat to all enemies within 20 yards, and you can cast Provoke on the statue to taunt all enemies near the statue. Okay, so a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that the reason I say stuff is it's a lot of stuff that I tend to want to avoid is in the tree right now, and it worries me because I'm wondering how much we're actually going to get out of this class side of the tree. But there are quite a few passives in here, so, you know, I'm not going to freak out yet, but I'm a little bit worried. All right, so let's take a look at our choice nodes. Looks like we have 3 of them. So here we can choose between Chi Wave, or we can take Chi Burst. Pretty typical choice there. Here we have Celerity. So this is going to be our roll choice node. And then we have Chi Torpedo. So we're definitely going to want to get to this one. And we want Spearhand Strike anyway, so I'm kind of okay with that. And then here we have a choice between Fortifying Brew and Fortifying Brew. Obviously, this is Fortifying Brew, so these are upgrades to Fortifying Brew that just don't have a unique name yet. Okay, so I'm definitely kind of like feeling avoiding this whole right side of the tree right now. This right row, like final column here. But outside of that, you know, aside from wanting to definitely pick up our role upgrade for open world content and our interrupt, I'm not pulled in any strong direction just based on the actives and choice nodes that we have. So let's get in and take a look at the passives. So right here, I believe this should give us another charge of roll if we take it. Which we do want the 2 charges of roll for sure. Okay. And here we have reduce all damage taken by 3%. Okay. We're going to want Rising Sun Kick for sure. And then we're going to need to get down here, and it looks like we're going to want to do it by grabbing Detox or by grabbing Disable and going into whatever this is, increase all damage dealt. Okay, that seems good. So I think we're going to go with Detox because I don't want to pick up Paralysis. I don't really want to pick up Paralysis. We could pick up Tiger's Lust potentially, but again, let's see what our other passive choices are here. So we have increased the range of Crackling Jade Lightning by 10 yards, and that goes into increase all healing taken. Okay, or Vivify healing is increased, and that goes into Vivify is now instant cast. What? Yes. Okay, so we're going to take that into the instant cast Vivify. Like, absolutely. I think we're going to take reduced damage taken into Detox, into 2 points in Ferocity of Zwin. So that's going to give us the damage. Then we're going to grab Spearhand Strike into I Like Chi Torpedo. All right, so let's take a look at what else we have. So for actives in this chunk, we have Transcendence. So split your body and spirit, leaving your spirit behind. Use Transcendence Transfer to swap locations with your spirit. So this actually is fairly handy when it comes to world questing, because you can kind of like put your spirit somewhere and then attempt to go somewhere, and if it doesn't work out, you can transport back up. So I'm not entirely opposed to taking that. That leads us into Ring of Peace, which basically just creates a defensive barrier around you, which is pretty nice actually if you're getting overwhelmed. It's a nice little talent to have, especially with a 45-second cooldown. That also, we've got Diffuse Magic, so reduce the magic damage you take and transfer all current harmful effects back to the original caster if possible. So another solid kind of defensive here, not as universally useful as some of the other ones, but it is on a 1.5-minute cooldown, which is really nice for open world content. We've got Dampen Harm, which reduces all damage you take by 20 to 50%. With larger attacks being reduced more, and I do kind of prefer that over Diffuse Magic, even though it's a 2-minute cooldown. I'm okay with 2 minutes on a defensive, just because you don't use defensives all the time. You use them like when you need to, right? And then this whole column we're not even bothering with. Okay, so up here we had increase the range of leg sweep and reduce the cooldown. That goes into Elusive Mists. So reduce damage while channeling Soothing Mist. I'm not really worried about that because realistically we're probably going to be casting that instant cast Vivify on ourselves to heal a lot of the times. So not too worried about that. Not too worried about those. So we do have our choice node here. Chi Wave is pretty nice. I usually tend to take Chi Wave. It gives you a quick cooldown ability that you can throw in that does both damage and healing. Chi Burst is really cool too, but Chi Burst does have a tendency to potentially aggro stuff you don't want to aggro. So as far as passives go, we've got during roll you are immune to roots and snares. That seems okay. Up here, provoke targets move towards you at increased speed. That is very interesting. We've got Rising Sun Kick deals 35% increased damage. Spinning Crane Kick deals 5% increased damage, and we can get this twice. We're definitely going to take that. And then here, Touch of Death can now be used on targets with less than 15% health remaining, dealing 35% of your maximum health and damage. Now, our Touch of Death right now is a 3-minute cooldown. Can we reduce that? We can reduce it down by 2 minutes. Okay, so right now it says, instantly kill creatures if they have less health than you. Deals damage equal to 35% of your max health against players and stronger creatures under 15% health. Which sounds exactly like what this is, so I'm really not sure. I don't want to take this. It reads that way already. So this is probably... It's probably a bug. But based on everything I see here... Oh, Tiger Palm also applies Eye of the Tiger. Sweet, dealing nature damage to the enemy and healing the monk. I like that as well. So I think we're going to go Transcendence, Ring of Peace, Eye of the Tiger. We're going to grab Dampen Harm. And then I think we're going to go for Chi Wave into Rollout. And then we still have 2 points to put in here. So we could either grab Diffuse Magic for an extra defensive. We could get this Touch of Death talent, which currently doesn't do anything, but I feel like if it did, this might be the one that we would pick. Or we could come back up and we can grab Tiger's Lust. It is nice just to give yourself a speed boost. So I don't mind picking that up for additional mobility. But usually I find that between Chi Torpedo and... We don't have Serpent Kick. We do not have Serpent Kick by default. Okay, I do want to take Tiger's Lust then. Interesting. Interesting choice there. I wonder if that's just like a Windwalker thing now. Okay. We need one more point, so let's take this Touch of Death one and assume it's going to do something cool, right? All right, moving on to the bottom. So obviously we have this under construction one. We've got the Black Ox, and then we also have Summon Jade Serpent Statue. So let's see. Interestingly enough, I'm leaning towards the Black Ox statue because we do have Provoke. And if we can throw out the Black Ox statue and then occasionally cast Provoke on it, maybe we set up a macro that's like target Black Ox statue, cast Provoke or something like that, where we can hit that. And then we can have the statue taunt all enemies. And in a weird way, we can have ourselves like a mini tanking pet. As far as what's going on in the bottom row. All right, but we have a bunch of passives to check out, so let's do that. So first one here, close to the heart, not yet implemented, but you and your allies within however many yards gain additional leech. That's cool. That seems like a fist weaving kind of thing. Then we have after you use Transcendence Transfer. Okay. You can use Transcendence Transfer again within 10 seconds, ignoring its cooldown. During this time, if you cast Vivify on yourself, its healing is increased by 70% and 50% of its cost is refunded. What? After you use Transcendence Transfer, you can use it again within 10 seconds, ignoring its cooldown. That's weird. I'm trying to think of like a practical application for this in open world content, and I'm really not seeing it because, like I said, usually I would use this to like explore essentially and then be able to teleport back to the safe spot that I was in. And then like being able to use that again within 10 seconds, I don't really see it. Then we have when walking, you and your allies have increased movement speed. Yes, that's just good. Touch of Death cooldown is reduced, also very good. You and your allies within however many yards have an additional avoidance. Okay. Save them all, not yet implemented. When your healing spells heal more than 3 people below 35% health, they're going to heal for an additional amount. That's cool. When 3 consecutive abilities hit more than 3 abilities, deal additional damage. And when a hit deals more than 20% of your maximum health, reduce all damage by however much for 6 seconds. Okay, so I think Wind Walking, the Touch of Death cooldown, and then I think the additional leech, I think that's probably what I would go with until I tested stuff out. This turns Touch of Death into a 1-minute cooldown, basically just kill anything that has less health than you, which is pretty sweet. So that's a look at the class side of the tree. It's weird. I can definitely tell that they're still working on it. I mean, aside from just the not yet implemented and under construction stuff, I think we probably need some tweaks. I don't know. It's a little weird. But let's get into the Mistweaver side of the tree and see if we have options for ways to increase our damage. I already see my book over here, which is huge for melee healing. So it looks like this left side of the tree is going to be where I want to be at, but we will see. All right. So we're going to do the same thing. Actives, choice nodes, which, wow, there are a lot of them. And then passives. Holy crap, that's a lot of choice nodes. All right, so we have to take Enveloping Mist. So this is going to be our big heal over time. That goes into Essence Font. So this is the 12-second cooldown channel that releases a bunch of bolts that just kind of fly everywhere and heal people. And then we have Renewing Mist. So this is an instant cast, heal over time. And if it heals a target beyond maximum health, it will travel to another injured ally within 20 yards. So generally speaking, we probably want to take Renewing Mist for solo, like open world content, just so we could throw a nice hot on ourselves. Whereas this Essence Font we have to channel it, and I mean, all the bolts should hit us, but still, we would rather just instant cast and then move back to doing damage. Then we have Life Cocoon, so 2-minute cooldown. It creates a cocoon of chi energy, which absorbs a bunch of damage, so this is a nice damage reduction cooldown. Then we have Thunder Focus T, so instant cast, 30-second cooldown. We'll probably be able to get more charges, but this empowers your next spell cast. So this actually is fairly decent. So mainly for us, for Rising Sun Kick, gaining a reduced cooldown. So the cooldown is reduced by 9 seconds. The cooldown is normally 10 seconds. So by the time you cast Rising Sun Kick and then Thunder Focus T, you basically get the Rising Sun Kick again. It's a bunch of like extra buttons to push and stuff, but at the end of the day, it is a way to increase DPS, which is something that we look for in these types of builds. Then we have Healing Elixir. So instant, drink a Healing Elixir, healing you for 15% of your max health. This comes with 2 charges. I do like to get that as well. It's just a nice little instant heal up. We have Zen Pulse. Trigger a Zen Pulse around an ally. It deals damage to all enemies within 8 yards, and the ally is healed per enemy damaged on a 15-second cooldown. So again, another way for us to potentially output some damage there. That goes into Song of Chi-Ji, 30-second cooldown, conjures a hypnotic mist that travels forward and puts enemies to sleep, disorienting them for 20 seconds. That actually sounds like a pretty solid crowd control ability. 30-second cooldown, 20-second disorient. You get yourself into a bad situation and you Song of Chi-Ji a bunch of people and then just chill and heal yourself up. Could be nice. We've got Feline Stomp. Pretty cool here. We've got the Night Fae ability for the monk. So we're going to stomp the ground, dealing damage to up to 5 enemies and restoring health to allies that are caught in the Feline. And then the allies are going to be healed with an Essence Font Bolt. Your abilities have a 6% chance of resetting the cooldown of Feline Stomp. So that's another like DPS thing we can get there. Then we have Bone Dust Brew, which is the Maldraxxus ability, I believe. So this coats targets for 10 seconds. Your abilities have a chance to affect the target a second time at 40% effectiveness as shadow damage or healing. And your Gust of Mists heals targets with your Bone Dust Brew active for an additional amount on a 1-minute cooldown. Also pretty interesting. So we've got some neat active abilities we can choose from here. I am still leaning towards the left-hand side just because I see the book and I know that this is probably going to be the more melee-focused side of things. But Bone Dust Brew is like decently appealing too, because if you strike the targets and then you can hit them with your Blackout Kick, your Rising Sun Kick or something like that and potentially double up on it, that's really nice. Okay, let's get into the 8 million choice nodes we have here. This is insane. Okay, so we have a choice between Revival, 3-minute cooldown, heal all party and raid members within 40 yards and clear them of harmful effects. Or Restoral, heal all party members within 40 yards and clear them of poison and disease. So magical poison and disease. What? Okay, so the difference is this one is castable while stunned. Now, if we hit points where we need to pick a node like this that's purely healing related, we're going to choose the ones that would probably work better in a small group of, say, maybe 1 to 3 players, assuming you're out there like doing some quests with a friend or a buddy or a significant other or whatever. But in this case, I mean, this is just, it's basically the same thing, but one is castable while stunned and the other is not. And the one that is not castable while stunned also removes harmful magical effects. I think I would take that one if I had to go through this node for some reason, but I think I would just avoid this altogether. and swing over to healing elixir instead. All right, here we have a choice between life cycles. So enveloping mist, reduce the mana cost of your next vivify. Vivify, reduce the mana cost of your next enveloping mist. Or mana tea, minute and a half cooldown, reduce the mana cost of your spells. Another one I'm not like particularly worried about. All right, here we have a choice between invoke Yulon the Jade Serpent, 3-minute cooldown. Yulon is gonna heal a bunch of enemies, or a bunch of, not enemies, allies. And then we have Chiji the Red Crane. Yes. Okay, so this is the 3-minute cooldown. It kicks up a gust of wind when you blackout kick, rising sun kick, or spinning crane kick, healing allies and reducing the cost and cast time of your next enveloping mist by 33%. So ideally we don't want to take either one of these. Man, I'm so torn right now because I'm like, we don't want to take these in open world content because we don't. But man, for the I'm gonna have to do I think the melee healing monk video is gonna be one of the ones I do like very quickly after these specialization videos are done, because this is huge for that. It's still the one that I would take if I had to go through this node, simply because it allows us to continue to deal damage while also healing, as opposed to Yulon, which is mainly just going to pump up additional healing. Okay, over here we have Zen Reverberation. So Zen Pulse triggers a second time at 30% effectiveness if cast on targets with both Renewing Mist and Enveloping Mist. So Zen Pulse was this one, the one that triggers a pulse around an ally, dealing damage. Or we have Accumulating Mist. Zen Pulse's damage and healing is increased by 10% each time Soothing Mist heals up to 6 times. Again, I just don't know if we care. All right, here we have Mist Wrap, increase enveloping mist duration and its healing bonus, or Refreshing Jade Wind. 7.7 second cooldown, summon a whirling tornado around you, causing healing to allies. Oh, yay, another melee healing one. I liked this one. It doesn't really do anything for us for open world content, though. Here we have Ancient Teachings of the Monastery. So after casting Essence Font, your Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick and Rising Sun Kick heal an injured ally within 20 yards for 250% of the damage done. Last 15 seconds. Or Clouded Focus, healing while with Enveloping Mist or Vivify while channeling Soothing Mist increases their healing done. Okay, so again, more healing stuff here. We would take Ancient Teachings of the Monastery if we had to go through this node. Jade Bond. Abilities to activate Gust of Mist. Reduce the cooldown on Invoke Yulon the Jade Serpent, and Yulon's Soothing Breath healing is increased. Reduce the cooldown of Invoke Yulon the Jade Serpent by 2 minutes, but decrease its duration to 12 seconds. Focus Thunder. So Thunder Tea now empowers your next 2 spells. And Upwelling. For every 6 seconds Essence Font spins off cooldown, your next Essence Font may be channeled for 1 additional second. The duration of Essence Font's heal over time is increased by 4 seconds. That's kind of cool. Down here, we have a choice between Restorative Proliferation. Each time Enveloping Mist heals, its healing bonus has a 50% chance to spread to an injured ally within 30 yards. Or Tea of Plenty. Thunder Focus Tea also grants Enveloping Mist, Essence Font, Renewing Mist, Rising Sun Kick, and Vivify 1 extra charge at random. Interesting. Then we have Tear of Mourning. Casting Vivify or Enveloping Mist on a target with Renewing Mist has a 10% chance to spread the Renewing Mist to another target. Your Vivify healing through Renewing Mist is increased, and your Enveloping Mist also heals. Okay. Or Rising Mist. Rising Sun Kick heals all allies with your Renewing Mist, Enveloping Mist, or Essence Font for 325. Okay. The final choice node here, Bountiful Brew. Your abilities have a low chance to cast Bone Dust Brew at your target's location. Or Attenuation, Bone Dust Brew's shadow damage or healing is increased by 20%. And when Bone Dust Brew deals shadow damage or healing, its cooldown is reduced by 0.5 seconds. Oh man, that is a lot. Okay, so my mind is like trying to run away with the melee healing build here. But let's go through and we're gonna take a look at the passives and see what we can do. Like I said, to continue on with this this world quest build. I might even just make this an extra long video and just do the melee focused healing build next. Well, so we'll see. But let's go through and take a look. Like I said, I don't really want to pick up Essence Font, but let's take a look at the passives we have in the circle nodes here. So Vivify heals all allies with your Renewing Mist. Renewing Mist has 2 charges. And over here, Tiger Palm causes your next Blackout Kick to strike an additional time, sacking up to 3. Blackout Kick has a chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Rising Sun Kick. So absolutely, we're going to go for that. That's definitely what we want. And then we're going to go Thunder Focus Tea into Healing Elixir. And then after this, it really comes down to whatever we want. We'll grab Renewing Mist and... yeah... I don't know. We're going to have to see where we want to go with this next. But for right now, let's just throw a point in Invigorating Mist. Now over here we have Zen Pulse, which seems interesting but not insanely crazy. We also have the Choice Node, which I'm not too crazy about. We do have Song of Chi-Ji, which I think is a solid pickup if we want it. We've got our Zen Pulse boosts. I think Accumulating Mist is okay to pick up. Here we've got Chi-Ji, which we could pick up if we needed to go through that node, but... let's look. We got one more choice node here, and that's kind of a whatever as well. So let's take a look at the passives that we have. So right here, Teachings of the Monastery causes each additional Blackout Kick to restore mana. That goes into each time Soothing Mist heals. The absorb amount of your next life cocoon is increased by 3%, stacking up to 50 times. Okay. Each time Soothing Mist heals, which, I mean, we're not really going to be doing that a lot, but we could do it knowing that it's increasing the... I mean, I think at that point it becomes worth casting Soothing Mist to boost your next life cocoon. Life cocoon increases healing over time received by an additional 20%. And this effect lingers for an additional 10 seconds after the cocoon is removed. Life Cocoon applies Renewing Mist and Enveloping Mist to the target. Wow, that's super cool. Yeah, we definitely want that. Okay. Rising Sun Kicks and Vivify Critical Strikes reduce the main cooldown on Revival by 1 second, and Revival heals targets for 10% of Revival's heal over 10 seconds. Critical Strikes reduce the cooldown on Revival. I don't think we care. Your Enveloping Mist heal the target for a percentage of their maximum health each time they take damage. That's kind of cool. Activating Thunder Focus Tea causes you to exhale the breath of Yulon, healing allies within 15 yards. Oh, that's super cool. But not necessary. While active, Yulon and Chi-Ji heal up to 6 nearby targets with Enveloping Breath when you cast Enveloping Mist. Okay. Renewing Mist has a chance to immediately spread to additional targets. And your Essence Font's initial heal is increased and has a chance to reduce the cooldown of Thunder Focus Tea by... Those numbers have got to be wrong. Rising Sun Kick and Enveloping Mist apply Renewing Mist for 3 seconds to an ally within 40 yards. That's actually pretty cool. Again, it's just kind of like passively healing while we punch stuff. I do think we want to get down to Feline Stomp or Bone Dust Brew. Let's take a look at the rest of the passives in the tree before we decide where to invest our points. I mean, we do have 11 to invest, but let's take a look anyway. Your Blackout Kicks strike 2 targets and have an additional... Yeah, we want that. Yeah, we want that. Your abilities reset Feline Stomp 100% more often. This is not yet implemented. While within Feline Stomp, your Tiger Palm strikes 2 targets and Spinning Crane Kick heals near... Oh my... Yeah. Yes. Absolutely yes. Okay. Allies targeted by Soothing Mist receive more healing. After using Thunder Focus Tea, your next spell gives 5% of a stat for 10 seconds. So Rising Sun Kick would give us versatility. That goes into Soothing Mist, heals a second injured ally within 15 yards for 50% of the amount healed. Renewing Mist heal over time effect has a chance to proc Enveloping Mist. You gain 33% haste for 20 seconds after summoning your Celestial. That's kind of cool. Gust of Mist has more chance to do more healing. Okay. So our Thunder Focus Tea has a 30-second cooldown. I think we want to grab Activating Thunder Focus Tea causes you to exhale. That'll just cause us to heal ourselves. So the question is, do we get there by going through Overflowing Mist or going through Nourishing Chi? I think Life Cocoon increases healing over time received by additional 20% is nice because we're already going to get Renewing Mist and Enveloping Mist applied to us when we cast Life Cocoon. But Enveloping Mists... Yeah, let's go that way. Then we're going to go to Yulon's Whisper. That's going to take us into Feline Stomp and that whole combo there. So right now, we're going to be... What are we incentivized to cast here? We're incentivized to cast Vivify because it's an instant cast now. Outside of that, we've got access to Soothing Mist, Enveloping Mist, Renewing Mist, and Essence Font. So we have 4 things there. 4 different heals we could potentially use that we've picked up. Well, plus we also have our Expel Harm. And that doesn't really count. So we kind of got 4 heals, and I think like trying to work into 2 particular... Like we're going to cast Vivify for the instant cast, right? Life Cocoon is going to apply our Renewing Mists, and it's also going to apply Enveloping Mists to us. But again, that's on a 2-minute cooldown. So I don't know if we really focus on that. So let's see what we can do with, like, if we can make one of the other heals, like kind of the other main heal that we use in order to like boost our own stuff. All right, so let's see what we have options for. We got to spend 9 points here. So Renewing Mist can have 2 charges now. Rising Sun Kick and Enveloping Mist apply Renewing Mist for 3 seconds. We did want to take that. So we can either do that by causing Renewing Mist to have 2 charges, or by taking Mana Tea or Life Cycles. So Enveloping Mist reduces the mana cost of your next Vivify, and Vivify reduces the mana cost of your next Enveloping Mist. So we know that Vivify is one of the spells we want to use. So if we pick this up, we can emphasize Enveloping Mist as the other like manually casted heal that we do. Essence Font's initial heal is increased and has a chance to reduce the cooldown of Thunder Focus Tea. So that would get us into the Thunder Focus Tea, and the Thunder Focus Tea makes us exhale the breath of Yulon. That ties us into Essence Font. So this one here is Rising Sun Kick and Enveloping Mist apply Renewing Mist. So again, that ties into Enveloping, This one is Essence. Renewing Mists. Right here. Has a chance to spread. We don't really care about that. Increase Enveloping Mist duration. Alright, we can pick up Song of Chi-Ji, which reduces the cast time of your next Enveloping Mist. I think we're going to go for Enveloping Mist here. So we'll take this. We'll take this. We will take... I think we'll take Song of Chi-Ji. I think we're going to take the Red Crane. So we'll do Zen Pulse into Red Crane. We'll do that. And then we got 1 point left, which I think we'll put into increase the duration and healing bonus. All right, so then we're taking this Feline Stomp line here. We got 1 point left, and I think that's going to go into Ancient Teachings of the Monastery. I believe. Actually, we could pick up Bone Dust Brew. I think for the open world content, we pick up Bone Dust Brew. So I think this is what it looks like. That is a ton of abilities. So many abilities. Let's jump back in and let's... we're just going to throw open world on this so we can have that. Okay, so what does this actually look like? Okay, we've got Tiger's Lust, we've got our Feline Stomp, we've got our Touch of Death, which does not have the cooldown implemented, which is awesome. Not. We got our Song of Chi-Ji for the CC, we got Ring of Peace for the defensive, Dampen Harm defensive, we've got Rising Sun Kick, we've got our Interrupt, we've got our Transcendence. We've got... Oh, Zen Pulse. No enemies near target. Oh, so you can't cast it if there's no enemies because it doesn't do anything. Interesting. Okay. We got our Song of Chi-Ji, we got our Healing Elixir, we got our Essence Font. What else do we have? We've got Roll, which for some reason this says Roll Out. I don't know why that put that on the bar. Bone Dust Brew. Okay, so let's take a look at what's left on the bar here. So, we do not have any sort of chi points or anything like that, so we're looking for just kind of a solid rotation. Our main two damage dealing abilities here are going to be Blackout Kick and Rising Sun Kick. Oh, and also Tiger Palm. So these are going to be the three we're going to be using to deal damage most of the time. So Blackout Kick has a cooldown. Rising Sun Kick has a even higher cooldown. So Blackout Kick is going to be the one that we... Tiger Palm's going to be the one we spam. We're going to get Rising Sun Kick to get that on cooldown. And then we'll Blackout Kick every time we can. So basically the priority here is Rising Sun Kick, Blackout Kick, Tiger Palm. Now with that being said, we've got some things in here that should be helping us, right? So Tiger Palm will cause our next Blackout Kick to strike an additional time, stacking up to 3. So ideally we can Tiger Palm 3 times and then Blackout Kick. Blackout Kick has a chance to reset the remaining cooldown on Rising Sun Kick. So Rising Sun Kick, Tiger Palm, Tiger Palm, Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick. generally speaking. You could blackout kick first if you wanted to, because it's a 2.6 second cooldown. So you could Rising Sun, blackout kick, Tiger Palm 3 times, and then you might actually be to Rising Sun again and then blackout kick and see if we can get a reset. It kind of just depends on the flow of the rotation. So we'll take a look at both those. Then what else do we have here that's relative? So these are all not yet implemented, so we're not going to worry about those. This is all related to enveloping mists. We did not pick up that one. I think that's the only little combo thing we have without mashing a button. So then we have our Thunder Focus T, and that's going to reduce the cooldown of Rising Sun Kick, which we may not even need. I don't know. We'll have to see. If we don't, then we can use it to make Vivify free, or we can use it to cause our Enveloping Mist to instant heal. There's a lot of different things we can do with Thunder Focus T, which is not on our bar. Now it is. Is Renewing Mist on our bar? No. Essence Fun is, that is. Life Cocoon's not on our bar. And a bunch of stuff did not get added to our bar. I think just because there wasn't enough space. So Zen Pulse is there. Song of Chi-Ji is there. Feline Stomp is there. Bone Dust Brew is there. Okay. What was I just thinking about here? Right. So we have that. And then we also have our Bone Dust Brew. And that'll basically just give us a 50% chance to deal 40% additional damage with our random abilities that we're casting. Then over here on the class side of the tree, I don't think we got too much. Rising Sun Kick is going to deal increased damage, as well as Spinning Crane Kick. We got the Touch of Death stuff. I think that's it. Yeah, so nothing too crazy going on here in terms of the main rotation, right? So we have Spinning Crane Kick for AoE if we need it. We've got Zen Pulse, which we can actually just throw into our rotation, I think, as an additional damage dealing ability. So this is going to deal 529 to all enemies within 8 yards, which is more damage than your Tiger Palm, but less damage than your Blackout Kick. But it is AoE, so I think in conjunction with like Spinning Crane Kick, you could basically treat Zen Pulse like the Rising Sun Kick of AoE. And then on top of that, you can also use Chi Wave for that as well. So Chi Wave is going to throw out a thing that's going to bounce between enemies and allies, and it'll heal allies and damage foes. So you could throw that in as a little AoE thing as well. So then in terms of our heals, well, we also have Crackling Jade Lightning, which we mainly use for pulls. Yeah, mainly used for pulls or to get targets off of us. Now, as far as our main heals go, we have Renewing Mist, which we should not really need to cast because our Rising Sun Kick is going to apply Renewing Mist for 6 seconds to an ally within 40 yards, which should be us. This is not yet implemented, but that's how that should work. Okay? So we shouldn't need Renewing Mists. Then we have our Essence Font, which we can use. And our Essence Font, we didn't build anything into it, really. We just picked it up because we had to. So let's see. All right, so that's our Essence Font. Some really weird healing numbers. Oh, the initial heal is pumped up. Right. So then it's the heal over time. This one we can move with. So this is a good one to cast on yourself if you're like trying to get away from stuff. You're in a bad situation. We do have Expel Harm. So this one has a 15-second cooldown. So this is going to heal you and deal 10% of the amount as nature damage to an enemy within 8 yards. So this is one that doesn't really deal a lot of damage, but you can use it to squeak out a little bit of extra damage if you need to. We have our Soothing Mist. And we haven't really done anything to pump up our Soothing Mists, so not like terribly relevant. We probably don't want to cast Soothing Mist because this is channeled. However, if we are channeling Soothing Mist, we can instant cast our Enveloping Mist and Zen Pulse. I just don't think that's really worth it because like we have instant cast Vivify already. Our Zen Pulse is instant cast anyway. And then Enveloping Mist, which do we not have that on our bar? Oh my goodness, it's driving me nuts. Enveloping Mist, I think we're okay to like channel this anyway. So we have our Vivify, which is instant cast, which is what we want to use most of the time just to top up. Right? So our Vivify, we got those points over here. Healing is increased. It's now instant cast. And it's going to heal allies with our Renewing Mist active for an additional amount. So we should have Renewing Mist active anyway. But now, if we have that, and we throw out our Vivify, it's going to heal additional for the Renewing Mist, which, like I said, we should get from doing the Rising Sun Kick in the future. And then we have our Enveloping Mist. So our Enveloping Mist, we actually increased quite a bit in a few different ways. So here, it's going to heal the target for 3% of their max health each time they take damage, which is nice because we're always going to be taking damage. So we're going to be healing 3% of our health each time, which is awesome. We picked up the duration being increased by 1 second and the healing bonus by 10 seconds. What else did we pick up? Enveloping Mist will also apply Renewing Mist to us. So it's Rising Sun Kick and Enveloping Mist. And then Enveloping Mist is going to reduce the mana cost of our next Vivify. And Vivify is going to reduce the mana cost of our next Enveloping Mist. So by casting Enveloping Mist, we're going to be... basically, we can get ourselves into possibly a free Vivify. Yeah, reduced by 25%. Can we get this to stack? Okay, it doesn't stack, but we can re-up the duration. So yeah, as long as we're cycling between Enveloping Mist and Vivify, we're good. The Enveloping Mist and the Rising Sun Kick will apply Renewing Mist to us in the future, and that's all good. And then I think the last little thing here is to remember that our Life Cocoon does a bunch of stuff, right? So first off, it's going to put Renewing Mist and Enveloping Mist on us. It's going to increase healing over time received, and the effect is going to linger for 10 seconds after the cocoon is removed as well. So basically, by casting Life Cocoon, we're upping our heal over time, casting 2 heal over time abilities on us, and then we get the bonuses from Renewing Mist and Enveloping Mist the whole time. So then we also have all the Feline stuff that's not implemented yet, which, you know, will come into play in the future. So basically what this should look like is we're going to run up, we're going to Rising Sun Kick, we can Blackout Kick, and then go into Tiger Palm. We want a Tiger Palm, stack that 3 times into a Blackout Kick. That did reset the cooldown on our Rising Sun Kick. Basically, if Rising Sun Kick's up, we want to hit it. Alright, we did not get the cooldown reset that time. So we go back up to 3. I think there we would possibly cast like a Zen Pulse or something to fill the space so that we could Rising Sun Kick into Blackout Kick to try to get the reset again. Alright, Blackout Kick, we got the reset. 1, 2, 3. Got the reset. I think if your cooldown for Rising Sun Kick is like 4 seconds or less, then I would probably just fill the gap. If there is a gap. Yeah, if you get what I'm saying, like, so we Rising Sun Kick, Tiger Palm, Blackout Kick. We didn't get the reset. By the time we get to 3 stacks, we're going to be under 4 seconds. So just fill with something and then Rising Sun Kick. Then use your Blackout Kick so you can Rising Sun Kick again if you get the reset. And then build it back up. Like, I think that's how I would do that. Seeing some decently solid numbers here. Oh, we did get the reset. Cool. Alright, this is another one where I'd probably fill the space. Rising Sun Kick. Blackout Kick to try to get the reset. Blackout Kick. Rising Sun Kick. So that was like right at 4 seconds there. Boom, we got the reset again. So basically that's what we're trying to do, right? Is we're just trying to get the resets. Alright, so then we also have our Zen Pulse. We've got our Chi Wave, which you'll see that'll bounce around and do some healing and stuff like that. We've got our Feline Stomp. Boom. So while we're in this, technically we should get some bonuses. And our abilities can reset it, which is super awesome. Alright, we did not get a reset that time. But while this is going on, we could throw out our Bone Dust Brew, right? So now all of a sudden we have the chance to do additional bonus damage. We got a reset here, slam that down. There we go. Try to get the reset. We got it. Good to go. Go for the reset again. We got it. Nice, nice, nice. Blackout Kick. We didn't get it. Tiger Palm. Tiger Palm. Rising Sun Kick. Into Phelan Stomp. Into Thunder Focus T. How long does that last? Okay, it lasts 30 seconds. Okay. Got it. Okay, cool. I did not mean to hit that, but that's okay. Throw down some Bone Dust Brew. Alright, let's fill some space, let Rising cooldown come off. Alright, let's hit it. Blackout Kick. Thunder Focus T. Feline Stomp. Got 3 stacks, 2 seconds left, nothing left to cast. Rising Sun Kick. Rising Sun Kick. Blackout Kick. Rising Sun Kick. Boom. Okay, I need to stop. Yeah, this rotation, I like it. I actually do like it. I think this is going to be one that the Weak Aura's rotation helper is going to be like super good for. But that's basically the combo. I think this definitely works for the build. As you can see, we're getting like fairly frequent resets on Rising Sun Kick, and you got to imagine when you're out there in the open world, you're going to be running from, enemy to enemy, so some of that cooldown time is actually going to be reduced, or it's going to be ticking down while you're moving from enemy to enemy or place to place, or, looting or whatever. So I think that's going to feel fairly smooth. Just taking a look at it real quick, so we didn't go over these because they're not yet implemented, but you could see that we were getting some resets on the Feline Stomp there. It is a 30-second cooldown, so it's something we should be using like fairly often. And then here this says your Blackout Kick will strike 3 targets and have an additional chance to reset the cooldown of your Rising Sun Kick while within your Feline Stomp. So this becomes an AoE and we get an increased chance to get the resets on the Rising Sun kick. So we were getting fairly good resets anyway, but they'll just be increased when we're in there once this talent point is active. And then here, our abilities reset Feline Stomp 100% more often. So we were getting some resets, but we could get potentially even more resets to be able to continuously keep up Feline Stomp, or Feline Stomp, or to be able to shift it around as we move, like in dungeons and stuff in the future. It also makes our Tiger Palm strike 2 targets, and our Spinning Crane Kick heals nearby allies. So actually, what this kind of does is this turns into Death and Decay for Death Knights, but it instead turns into like a multi-target melee thing for Mistweavers. And I think that's really cool. And I think when you start to understand it like that, like this is basically like Death and Decay for DKs, but this is the monk version, it starts to make a lot of sense. And it seems very cool in my opinion. And I think it's going to give us some nice AoE viability outside of just trying to hit Spinning Crane Kick and win. So I'll be very interested to test this out in open world content and see if we can pull, 2-3 things on a Mistweaver and use Feline Stomp to just kind of like shred through that. But we won't really be able to do that until these are implemented, because we will need those, I think, to see how effective that is. But this is the build that I have for Mistweaver right now. I think this is definitely ready to go take it out and test it out. We will be testing all the specializations in open world content. We're going to take them out to a questing zone, do some quest out there and just kill some enemies and see how things go, and figure out if we want to adjust or tweak anything about the build. So we'll be doing those. I'll be doing those as live streams so you guys can tune in and participate on them. That being said, this has been one of my longer videos, so if you stuck with it, I definitely appreciate you watching. Don't forget to throw a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the series and whether you'd like to see more content from me once the alpha is finished. So again, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one.